Now, one of the biggest problems with thumb drives, M.2s, or portable hard drives is them failing and you not having any idea that it was coming. That's where this M.2 enclosure from Dotcase changes it up for you. Now, it may take a little bit of time to set up, but let's do it together so I can show you how it works and show you what this does to help prevent you from ever losing data again. Now, this is an M.2 enclosure that does have a full digital display to give you a bunch of information, but we're gonna put in an M.2, a WD black in here so you can see exactly how it's done. Now, for starters, we're just gonna remove this back screw right here. Boom. Which does leave us to one of the first important features of this guy. Transferring data at 10 gigabits per second does produce a lot of heat. So not only is this a heat sink with a fin design, but also has a thermal pad on the back to help reduce heat even more. I don't know if you've ever transferred a lot of data on a thumb drive, but these guys get pretty dang hot. The other aspect of this is looking on the inside, we have a huge capacitor, which does help alleviate a lot of data corruption that can happen during power surges or fluctuation in power. Once you're on the inside, you're gonna see the little screw right here. We're gonna take our little screwdriver here and take that screw out. Now we're gonna take our M.2 and we're gonna line it up right there, which this enclosure does still have an offset right there, which is what you do want. I hate how a lot of them don't have the offset mounted and it just falls everywhere. Now we take our M.2 and we line it up in the little holes. You do want it to go in at an angle. Then you're gonna hear a little click and you are in. Then we are going to take our screw, push this down, line this on back up here, and just tighten it down. Nothing too crazy. There's no wiggle, there's no nothing, locked in place. Then we take our heatsink top coat and boom. Then we put the screw right back on in here and then I will show you exactly why this specific enclosure is the one I'm gonna be using over things like my portable hard drives or my thumb drives, or even just a standalone M.2. Now, one of the first things I know you're gonna notice here is I have two cables in here, which leads us to the first level of protection. It does have a power input, which does not need to be used. However, for data protection, it is because then it'll give it a backup power in case of removal. Next, you'll notice it does tell you quite a bit of info just right here. We have the temperature, what the drive is, which you're seeing a low speed of transfer because I am using a Gen 1 drive. So do keep that in mind. This does go up to 10 gigabits per second, as well as the life expectancy of the drive itself. Now, on a previous video I made, a lot of people pointed out the hours. That is not actually how long the case will last. That is an expected probability of the drive's lifespan at full use for that period of time. I promise you, you're not writing data for 2,464 hours at full speed. That's not